Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei den Whiskey Tales Liquid. Mein Name ist André und heute haben wir eigentlich eine Mini-Verkostung, eigentlich eher eine Vorstellung. Ich brauchte eigentlich nur einen Aufhänger, um das Video hier platzieren zu können, weil wird kein großartiges Verkostungsvideo. Ich habe Videomaterial gefunden, wie wir mit dem Land Rover Defender über die Isle of Rasay gefahren sind, eine Rundtour gemacht haben. Ich dachte, die Aufnahmen wären schon verschollen, sonst hätte ich sie schon mal irgendwann eingespielt, aber ja, das ist doch sehenswert, absolut. Und ja, damit das nicht ganz so stumpf auf dem Liquid-Kanal kommt, habe ich mir gedacht, ja, du hast noch ein kleines Restsample. Auf das freue ich mich sowieso schon und das muss ja auch weg. Und die Abfüllung ist jetzt noch relativ, was heißt relativ? Sie ist aktuell, denn das ist unser Awakening Isle of Rasay geworden. Und ja, wer bisher noch einen Bogen um Rasay gemacht hat, da wäre das eine Empfehlung, weil das ist eine Vollreifung im Quarter Cask. Also der ist jetzt 4 Jahre PX. Wir hatten einen Oloroso und einen PX. Das hatte beides der liebe Tara, also der liebe Randy von Tara Spirits in München. Da hatte ich den anderen, den er hatte, auch mal verkostet. Jetzt nehme ich den. Ist nicht großartig was anderes, ist halt PX statt Oloroso. Er hatte Oloroso Vollreifung, Quarter Cask und für Awakening haben wir jetzt PX Vollreifung, Quarter Cask. Da es eine Vollreifung in so einem kleinen Fass ist er erstaunlich weit. Also bei 4 Jahren könnte man Angst haben, oh, noch alles scharf und Alkohol sticht und so. Überhaupt nicht. Überhaupt nicht. Man merkt natürlich, ja, der ist nicht 25, ist klar. Ja, aber absolut schön in der Nase. Ist auch schon, wirkt schon ausgefüllt. Ansonsten, ja, das brauchbare Talisker. Wer im Talisker fehlt, hier hat man was in der Art. Sie selber würden das wahrscheinlich nicht hören wollen, aber ist halt die Nachbarinsel, ist jetzt leicht rauchig, ist jetzt mit Sherry. So viele, die vielleicht einen Bogen um die Brennerei gemacht haben bisher, weil viel Virgin Oak und keine Ahnung, Rye-Fässer oft dabei und Rotwein und ja, sehr experimentell und auch in dem Core-Release ist ja alles Mögliche drin. Was natürlich auch so gewollt ist, aber hier hat man einfach Sherry Quarter Cask, leicht rauchig, passt. Vorreifung. Ja. Kann man absolut machen. Ist jetzt auch für mich der erste heute Abend. Alkoholtechnisch hat der 61, sowieso. Also der drückt jetzt ziemlich. Aber ich finde, es ist noch im grünen Bereich. Und ja, Empfehlung. Absolut. Sonst hätten wir nicht für die Awakening Series ausgesucht. Und ich hoffe, dass wir auch in den nächsten Jahren wieder mal hin und wieder ein Single Cask kriegen können oder auch ein paar, die halt einfach Vollreifung Sherry sind, ohne sämtliches rechts und links. Gut, dann will ich es auch schon dabei belassen. Film ab.
Yeah, always love that stuff. Oh, rush hour here. So everywhere. Yeah, a lot of basking sharks around as well. Like I saw some out here a couple of days back.
So you
Well, you know, you got to make the most of the stuff
Yeah.
while it's here.
they're not. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here, whether someone's chasing someone with a car very slowly. What there? Very famous location on Skye. You can see out there in the sea, you can actually see the transition of the tides.
Yeah.
And that's the currents that are moving together. You get these really interesting distinctions as they're coming round.
Well, the weather from Germany.
Here's hoping it stays, I know. And you can actually see there's little bits that have been cut out of the ground here. That's the old peat land. People aren't really cutting peats anymore on the island. In fact, the only peats being cut are the stuff that we cut for the barley.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see there's these little kind of lines in the ground. You can see that's where people have been cutting out. It's that little bit of metal there. It's an old radiator, so that's what people were piling the peats up on top of.
Oh, okay.
So I've still got all the old tools back in my shed for doing it, so you never know, we might get everyone back out cutting peats for the distillery.
I've been looking on YouTube for turf skate,
Oh yeah.
but it's there was one from Ireland and was like 180 pounds or something. Maybe next time.
You're probably the best way of doing it now is finding someone who knows how to make one, like out in West Wales or something.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, exactly. The ones I brought, I think, were made out in Lewis, but depending on where you are in Scotland, you know, they've all got slightly different designs.
Yeah.
The ones in Isla are slightly different to the ones on Rassay and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but you know, a lot of that's been lost now because, you know, people, if they're cutting peats, they're using big diggers and stuff, but,
Yeah.
you know, you forget back in the day how localised everything was, you know, traditions and cultures and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, we're just going over the hill now. So we've been along the west coast. We're now going to cut all the way across to the east coast of the island. So we're basically going to go over the neck of Rassay.
Yeah.
Up there, well, there's not much. You see the curvature of the earth, I suppose. But this is looking all the way up to the very north of Scotland. So Gairloch's up there, Cape Wrath, which is the very kind of northwest point of Scotland. As we go round the corner, you might be able to see the Western Isles as well, just really faintly over there in the distance, just past the edge of sky there.
Yeah.
And there's a few fishing boats and stuff out too. Yeah, really nice.
Amazing.
Walking the coastline around here is amazing because there's so many old little villages. You'll stumble across Manishmore, Manishbake, Tyle, and you know, all these tiny little houses and villages that were all kind of scattered along the coast. It's a beautiful walk, a lot of caves as well too, you know. It's a beautiful day to be heading up.
How many times in the year is the weather like today to get
You know,
such a good view?
I'll say in September, you're often struggling. See, in April we get it better than most places in Scotland. It's a bit drier, and then we pay for it in September, where it's usually a little bit wetter. So this time of year, it's normally a washout, you know. But I will say, you know, Scotland gets a bad rap, you know. But you know, the more than anything, I find the weather on Rassay is just changeable. You know, sometimes you could be up here and it's pouring with rain, down in the south of the island, completely dry like this and open and everything. But you know, it's all part of the charm, I suppose. Unless you paid thousands of pounds to come on holiday and you're stuck in your hotel. Easy for me to say, I guess. Yeah, really nice. In fact, I mean, the main road on Skye is along there, and oftentimes you'll see everyone lined up, you know, camper vans and motorhomes over there, the old man. Meanwhile, we're driving along an empty road with the best view you can imagine of it. So, this is us now crossing over to East Coast. Another steep turn. And over there, obviously, that's mainland Scotland. So Applecross, very famous. That's all over in this direction. That's the Applecross Sound. Behind us there's the Rassay Sound. Some of the deepest points in Scotland. Really deep waters. A lot of the submarine testing, Trident, all of that's tested around here. Got a lot of whales and stuff too. Really, really deep channels of water. This is the Brown Brae, as it's called, down here. Corner. All of these, every corner, every bridge, every stretch, they've all got their own names. A lot of them in Gaelic, but my favourite one here is this area here, going from this corner all the way to the end is called I think it's called the Filling of the Oskig Men. So remember we passed Oskig, it's back down that way. Some guys from Oskig must have fixed the road here back in, you know, the 1920s or something. And they just called it from that point on the bit of the road that the Oskig Men had filled in with soil. So it's got this name in Gaelic, but it just translates to the Filling of the Oskig Men. Seagulls around today. Now, the east coast of Rassay, really mountainous, big, steep. There's kind of Arnish in the distance. There's a bit of green and there's a few trees, so that it's like a little oasis in the middle of all this just barren nothingness. So he had to try and figure out a way of doing this. So he actually built this entire, you know, it's like a dog leg. It goes all the way back and snakes round. So go around here. this was the easy bit. He just snaked around, and he ended up at the bottom. But then he got into another problem. There's this in the way. The old path went up that hill.
Oh.
Now obviously you can't go up the hill with even back then with the Land Rovers and stuff, it was still a little bit out of the question. So he had to try and build a road that went all the way around the cliff. Look, you can see there's the old path there. So what he did is he went to the council and he bought an old jelly, TNT. Well, he didn't borrow it, because when you borrow dynamite, you don't get it back. But he borrowed explosives from the local council. They gave him that, and what he did is he blew up the cliffside over here, and then built in a path using all the old rubble that had been blown out. So you can see the old quarry here. In fact, it's still being used right now. Yeah, so there's the quarry, and this is what he ended up building. So this is what we call Tarbert, and you can see it's just a sheer drop all the way down there, and he's built this entire thing along the cliffside, and those cliffs in the distance there all had to be blown up too to make the space for it. So it's just a complete drop all the way down here to the bottom. Like I say, this is Tarbert. So Tarbert's the narrowest point. You could walk between these two areas really easily. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's like tropical down there. In fact, I'll just stop here so you can get out if you like and have a look. It's a lovely view. Always a nice place for a photo.
And in the winter, with a lot of snow.
This
A bit of snow.
Yeah.
Can.
I mean down the south.
Decent cliffs to jump off down there.
Yeah, that's a good spot for swimming too. Yeah, that's the old fish. I think it's the old fish farm here down there. Yeah, I just think that whole coastline down there is just gorgeous. You got all those kind of like colours and the rock and everything too. Yeah, so along here, this is actually where we got a lot of the inspiration for our bottle design, labelling, even the gin as well is the same. It's these rock layers and colours, you know, the reds and maroons, and got all these beautiful colours coming out from the heather as well, the purples, which is very much what the gin kind of referenced to. And you can see, like I say, how clear the water is down there. Beautiful.
Look like the Bahamas.
Yeah. Until you get in the water, it's good. Oh, see, you can see a bit more of the wall there stretching up onto the hill.
I like the bottle design. That's unique.
What's that?
The bottle design, I like it. It's unique.
Yeah.
It's reflective of the place.
You can feel it.
Yeah. I think I'm really excited to share it, and I mean, the bottle and the label work very well together too. That's one thing at the moment, is that, you know, we've been looking at the bottle, people have been seeing the glass bottle design, and it all comes together with the label and the cork and everything. And I think, to me, what was important to me with the label was we get in all that information, because we've got so much that we're talking about when it comes to the way that we distill, the fermentation times, the cask types, and I think it's very important to communicate that. They've done a great job in bringing that together, you know.
Yeah. And it's a bit of a juxtaposition, the rugged kind of bottle and all that, and then the label's quite clean, quite sort of contemporary looking, which I think it works well together, because it's not, you know, it's kind of like this wild bottle and then this quite kind of clean label. So
And that's a really good point as well, because of course Raasay is quite rugged and quite, you know, Hebridean and windswept, yet the distillery is modern and it's trying something new. And despite the island being ancient, we're all quite young and doing a lot of this stuff, you know, as a kind of startup. And I think that works very well in the story of it, you know. Well, by Tarbert, until next time.
yeah, and as Callum said, the label as well, and particularly when we have the core release, which is coming out in April next year, and that 6-cask maturation policy that I was talking about, all of that is detailed on the labels. People have a lot of information there, you know, all about the types of casks, the 2 spirit types, it's, you know, things about the island as well. So you've got the population size of the island, lots of interesting things that interesting cues.
There's
that people
Duncan
can talk
over there
about.
as well. We couldn't really see it very well, but
What is this?
Pardon?
The bombing farm?
It'll be here, yeah. So we're building it over the next couple of months. So the warehouse we went into there with the dry goods, that will be cleared, and what we're going to have there is there'll be some bays for the dry goods, and then there'll be a bottling hall like in the back half of that, and then on the side we're going to cut out the wall, and the finished goods will go outside, be picked up by from lorries there and taken away. So all the bottling, all the distillation, obviously maturation, will be done here.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be quite something if you think about, you know, what you've seen here today. And you can buy a bottle of whiskey that has been distilled, matured, and bottled all in this one place, you know. And you leave Raasay with that bottle, and it's the first time it's ever left the island. You know, I think that completes the journey. You know.
Yeah, the bottles that you'll get in Germany, remember, the first bottles that ever leave here. That's a whiskey.
Exactly.
So quite something.
Oh wow! Look, you've made it.
He's arrived now.
Took them long enough. Oh wow. What a day. I mean, you can just see all the way down in the south. It's very bright, but just down there is, you know, that's the Five Sisters of Kintail and the mountains, and Kyle Canal, Southbridge, all of that. It's usually much easier to see. It's just very bright. Plenty of sheep around at the moment today. It's not too bad right now, but see when there's a lot of lambs around, the baby sheep, it's a nightmare because of course they're just darting across the road all the time, so you've constantly got your foot in the brake just in case. In all my years of driving, I've never once hit a bird or an animal. Well, definitely not a person, no. And I know I had to change, but see on Raasay, it's just, you know, there's just wildlife everywhere.
Deer as well.
Oh, and deer, yeah. I mean, see again during the storms and stuff when they're down on the road. There we go, end of Callum's Road. So yeah, it took him 10 years to build Callum's Road. He died finishing it. He was actually doing some of the verging, and he had a heart attack and died. So it was quite it's a very poetic kind of story. And the kind of great irony was by the time he finished it, no one lived in Arnish anymore. It was just him. But it's kind of, it paid off in the end with, you know, people moving back there and the whole story of it. Oh wow. Really silhouetted rock.